Welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling somebody who's become really important in the Middle East,
Okay.
Naim Qassem,
Right.
the new leader of Hezbollah,
Yeah.
stepping in after the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah.
Uh-huh.
And we've got an expert on Hezbollah here to help us unpack all of this.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's an important topic, especially given the current political climate.
Absolutely. Now, I'll admit my knowledge of Hezbollah is a bit surface level.
Okay.
I know they're a powerful force in the region.
Uh-huh.
But could you give us a bit more context on their significance?
Sure. Hezbollah, meaning the Party of God, emerged in Lebanon during the 1980s, and it's a complex organization, a political party with seats in Lebanon's parliament,
Oh, wow.
a social services provider,
Okay.
and importantly, a militant group with considerable military capabilities.
I see.
They've been a major player in Lebanese politics and regional conflicts, particularly against Israel.
So understanding Hezbollah is key to understanding the dynamics of the Middle East.
Exactly. And that's why Naim Qassem's appointment as leader is so significant.
Right.
What makes it even more interesting is his background.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
We often think of Hezbollah leaders coming from purely religious backgrounds, but Qassem's journey is a bit different.
Okay.
He actually holds a degree in chemistry from the Lebanese University
Wow.
and even worked as a chemistry teacher for a while.
Really?
It's not the typical path you'd expect for a Hezbollah leader.
A chemistry teacher turned leader of Hezbollah. That's fascinating.
Right.
Do we know if his scientific background had any influence on his later involvement in religious and political movements?
It's difficult to say for certain, but it's an interesting question to think about.
Yeah.
Did that analytical scientific mindset shape how he approached these complex issues? Perhaps leading to a more pragmatic approach to leadership. It's something to consider.
It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
how did this chemistry teacher end up as such a central figure in Hezbollah?
His journey into activism began early.
Okay.
He was involved in the Lebanese Union of Muslim Students during the 1970s, a period of significant political upheaval in Lebanon.
I see.
Later, he joined the Amal movement, a prominent Shia political and militant group.
So his involvement in activism predates Hezbollah's formation.
Yes, and in 1979, he left Amal and became involved in the very founding of Hezbollah,
So he was there at the very beginning.
right from the ground level, shaping the organization's early ideology and strategy.
He must have had a deep understanding of the group's vision from the outset.
Absolutely, and his commitment to the organization only deepened.
Okay.
In 1991, he was appointed Deputy Secretary General by Abbas al-Musawi. And when al-Musawi was succeeded by Hassan Nasrallah in 1992,
Right.
Qassem remained in that crucial role.
So he was working closely with Nasrallah for decades.
He was.
Was he more of a behind-the-scenes figure, or did he have a public-facing role as well?
He was very much involved in Hezbollah's public activities.
Okay.
He played a significant role in managing their political campaigns, particularly for parliamentary elections.
Right.
He also became a key spokesperson,
Okay.
articulating Hezbollah's views and positions to the wider world.
So he wasn't just a strategist, but also the voice of the organization.
Exactly.
That suggests a certain level of charisma and communication skills?
Definitely, he had to navigate those complex political landscapes and build consensus both within the organization and with the public.
Right.
And he was good at it.
Yeah. He had to... good at it.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It seems like it.
It sounds like he played a really pivotal role in shaping Hezbollah's public image and political strategy.
He did.
But of course, his leadership now takes place under very different circumstances.
Right.
The assassination of Nasrallah must have been a shock to the organization.
It was a major turning point.
Yeah.
Nasrallah had led Hezbollah for over 3 decades.
Right.
And his sudden absence created a void.
But Qassem's immediate succession highlights the trust and authority he already held within the organization.
So the transition seems to have been smooth.
It does.
Does that suggest continuity in terms of Hezbollah's direction under Qassem's leadership?
It's too early to say for certain.
Okay.
But Qassem has spoken about upholding Hezbollah's core principles to really understand his perspective.
Right.
We should look at his book, Hezbollah, The Story from Within.
Oh.
It provides valuable insights into his thinking and the organization's inner workings.
That sounds like a must-read for anyone who wants to delve deeper.
It is.
Is there anything in particular from the book that stands out?
Oh, yeah.
that sheds light on his leadership style or Hezbollah's priorities?
There's a particularly revealing passage where he recounts being offered billions of dollars
Billions.
to rebuild South Lebanon after the 2006 war with Israel.
That's a massive sum.
It is.
What was the condition attached to this offer?
The catch was that Hezbollah had to agree to disarm and cease their resistance activities.
Wow. I can see why you highlighted this.
Yeah.
That really puts their commitment to their cause into perspective.
Absolutely.
So they refused.
They did Qassem rights.
Okay.
We told them we're not in need of their money and the resistance will go on regardless of the consequences.
That's a powerful statement.
It is.
It shows their unwavering dedication to their ideology, even when faced with a significant financial incentive.
For sure.
Would you say this refusal to disarm is a widely held belief within Hezbollah?
I think so.
Or could there be dissenting voices?
While Hezbollah presents a united front,
Right.
it's a large organization, and it would be naive to assume absolute uniformity of opinion.
Okay.
There are interesting anecdotes that hint at potential internal dynamics.
Like what?
For example, back in 2009, when Mustafa Badreddine was appointed to lead Hezbollah's military activities, Qassem reportedly opposed the decision,
Oh, really?
favoring a relative of his own for the position.
That's interesting. So even someone as high-ranking as Qassem didn't always get his way?
It seems
What does that tell us about the internal workings of Hezbollah?
it suggests that different factions and viewpoints exist within the organization. How these dynamics will play out under Qassem's leadership is something we'll have to observe closely.
It certainly adds another layer of complexity to this already intricate situation.
For sure.
So we've covered a lot of ground, from chemistry teacher to key figure in Hezbollah's formation, and now leader Qassem's journey has been anything but ordinary.
It really has.
Yeah, it really has been fascinating, and you've provided so much insight. As we wrap up, I'm left with one big question. What kind of leader will Naim Qassem be? How might his leadership differ from Hassan Nasrallah's?
That's the question on everyone's minds. It's still early days, of course, but some clues might lie in Qassem's past. He's been described as more pragmatic than ideological.
Good.
Someone who's willing to engage in political negotiations and compromise. That approach might be crucial given the current complexities of the region.
But as you highlighted earlier, he's also clearly committed to Hezbollah's core principles, particularly their resistance activities.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how he balances those two sides, the pragmatism and the ideological commitment.
Absolutely. He's also facing a very volatile regional landscape. Ongoing conflicts, shifting alliances, and economic challenges will all factor into the decisions he makes and the path Hezbollah takes.
So a lot of uncertainty lies ahead. But this deep dive has really opened my eyes to the complexities of Hezbollah and the nuances of Qassem's character. He's clearly not a one-dimensional figure.
Not at all, and that's what makes this so compelling.
Yeah.
It's a story that challenges assumptions and forces us to look beyond simple labels.
Right.
There's a human element here, a story of a man who went from the classroom to the forefront of one of the most influential organizations in the Middle East.
Definitely. You've painted a vivid picture. For anyone who wants to explore this further, Qassem's book, Hezbollah, The Story from Within, sounds like an essential read.
It is. I'd highly recommend it.
Okay, great. And of course, staying informed about current events in the region is key to understanding how this story unfolds.
Couldn't agree more.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your expertise with us.
My pleasure.
This has been an incredibly enlightening deep dive.
Glad to hear it. And remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to understanding these complex issues.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
You're welcome.